Gaimuling Award. Gaimuling Award is one of the 5 wards in Kajiado North constituency, where in 2017 I ran for member of parliament and lost. But I had over 30,000 votes, so I honorably lost. And one of these days, that young man, we may work together. Who knows? We will work together in that constituency. So, on matters leadership, and I for sure know the Honorable Maraga will be talking about it. Leadership starts now. There is no tomorrow for a leader. If you ask the Honorable Maraga, he will tell you he started leadership long time ago when he was a student. I also started my leadership as the Secretary General of the very mighty Kenyatta University Student Association. That was in the year 1993-1994. Many of you may have not been born. And that leadership to date, it continues. So we want to encourage you that being a leader is a good thing. And not just being a leader, being a leader of integrity, an honest leader is a good thing. Let me not appear to be talking too much. Mine is a simple assignment, but I took advantage to say 1 or 2 things to welcome the Honorable Maraga to speak to you. So it is my honor and pleasure at this time of the day to
Thank you very much. Please sit down. Thank you very much for the warm welcome. Let me start by giving a disclaimer which I give in most places where I go. I come from the Kiti community. In my mother tongue, we have some letters of the alphabet which are not there. We don't have an L, we don't have a J, and quite a number of those letters. So if we go out from here and I'm introduced to you, and I say it is my pleasure to meet you, please understand where I'm coming from. I'm very happy to be here this morning, and I want to thank you for the warm welcome. Dr. Mocheche, the registrar of this university, Dr. Kerubo, and the student leadership in this university and this gathering here this morning. Good morning once again. As I said, I'm delighted to be here this morning, and I'm honored to have had this invitation to come and give a keynote address in this important conference. I see that this is a communication, media and communication group, as well as leadership. I'm not an expert in communication, and I don't want to purport to be one. I want my remarks this morning, elections, so you will get that slant. I want to make a few remarks and allow questions. You can ask me questions even from what I have not presented, and I will be happy to respond if time allows. I speak to you here today as a father, as an elder, as a man deeply concerned for the future that my generation is planning to leave to your generation. Every time a civilization has stood at a crossroad, every time the arc of history has either towards justice or broken towards ruin, it has ultimately been young people who have decided which way it will go. Here in Kenya, when Tom Mboya stood before massive crowds and declared that Kenya was not a collection of British subjects, but a free people with a destiny, he was only 24 years old. When the young men and women of this country took to the streets in 1990s and demanded that the iron grip of the single party rule be broken, they were mostly university students, just like you, sitting in university halls, just as you are seated here this morning. I don't know whether we are communicating because I can hear a lot of talk, so I don't know whether that's how you communicate.
Comrades, we have our guest in the house. I think that's why you're murmuring. He's Cecil Miller. We will have Honorable Moraga finish his speech, and then he's here with us the whole day. So
thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And when in June 2024 this nation looked at a finance bill that mortgaged our future, it was, again, young people who ultimately decided how the day was going to end. I want to speak to you today with the honesty that this moment in the history of our country demands. 63 years ago, when this great nation was born, our founding generation made a solemn promise that never again would a foreign nation own our land. That never again would a foreign nation own our labor. That never again would a foreign nation dictate our future. That Uhuru meant that sovereignty is non-negotiably ours, that we would protect our sovereignty and never again surrender it to a foreign power. I stand before you today to tell you that somewhere along the way, some people began to betray that promise. This time, the betrayer wore a tie, a suit, our skin, lived in our midst, and spoke in our language. This is the betrayal we have and have seen with the foreign military installations on our land and the controversy of establishing a US Ebola quarantine centers on our soil against the wishes of the Kenyan people and in disregard of court orders. Today, the future revenue of this republic has been used as collateral for debts stolen by those charged with being public stewards. Portions of our future revenues have already been committed to servicing debts. Future generations are being asked to pay for decisions they never made and the revenues they never benefited from. We are not just a country living beyond our means. We are a country that has borrowed tomorrow, but stolen and wasted it today. Every shilling stolen from this country is a child who died of a preventable disease. It's a university student who dropped out of school because fees could not be met. It is a small business that closed because the tax regime is untenable. And it is a family that stayed poor generation after generation because the state that was supposed to serve them is busy serving itself. In 2010, Kenya did something remarkable. We wrote ourselves a new constitution, a declaration of who we intended to become. We intended to become a country where public resources were held in trust for all Kenyans, where the Bill of Rights was a lived reality, where the independence of institutions like the judiciary, the legislature, and the electoral commission were not just a courtesy extended by those in power, but a constitutional guarantee backed by the courage of the citizens. The years immediately following the adoption of the Constitution presented us with a historic opportunity to build the Kenya we imagined. Instead, 16 years later, we have seen institution after institution compromised, captured, or completely dismantled. We have seen the brightest of our young people pack their bags and board planes to other countries, while many of them waste away here in a country that does not honor their intellect. Some argue that things are not yet that bad, but history teaches us that decline rarely announces itself dramatically. It arrives gradually. No country became a failed state in a single day. Every country that we look at today as a cautionary tale arrived there through a long and unbroken chain of bad decisions. Each seemed small in isolation. Each one was explained away. Each scandal was managed using carefully choreographed media distractions. Each line that should not have been crossed was crossed and then forgotten. It does not happen all at once. It happens grain by grain, decision by decision, election by election, appointment by appointment, ignored malpractice by ignored malpractice, until one day you look around and the land has shifted beneath your feet. We are at the cliff's edge. But we do not have to jump over the cliff. We can comboa our beloved country. We can return to the promise of our Katiba. This is why I have clearly laid out my Katiba philosophy as a way to return us to the path of opportunity, jobs, justice, and utu. I want to be honest with you about what is needed to reset, restore, and rebuild Kenya. It requires discomfort. It requires a willingness to pull out the bad truth. And for a moment, this will indeed be a painful extraction. But the alternative is far worse. The alternative is infection spreading slowly but quietly until it reaches the jaw, the bone, and the blood. Some of our favorite politicians may have to face consequences. We shall indeed jail anyone who is proven to have stolen from Kenyans. And we shall start at the top. As I have stated in the past, accountability starts with me. Accountability is not revenge. Accountability is simply the first step in the restoration of order. It is the very serious insistence that public resources are sacred, that public office is a sacred and binding trust, and that the violation of that trust should never go without consequences. There is a proverb which you have probably heard that says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Young Kenyans, the best time to have a reset, to restore and build our country was 2013, after the adoption of our constitution. The second time is next year, 2027. 2027 is just another, it's not just another election. It is an existential election. It is this country asking itself at last, who are we and who do we intend to be? Do we continue on this path of borrowing from the future to fund the luxuries of a few today, or entertaining ourselves with politicians who have never read the Constitution, or accepting a standard of governance so low that our leaders ask us to celebrate the absence of disaster as a form of achievement? Or will we choose differently? Do we choose leaders who understand that this moment calls for serious builders, for people who can run an institution, for competence and character, not for those who have mastered the art of dividing us, but for those who are committed truly to the project of governing us well? A lot has gone wrong. It will take time to fix. But there is one thing I know for certain. The longer we delay, the more it festers. The infection does not wait. Every day we delay will cost us more than the day before. Fellow Kenyans, Kenya is ripe for a rebirth. I have said that publicly, and I believe it in my bones. I have seen this country's potential, having done the Okativa Caravan across 43 counties. I know what our people are capable of when we are governed as we deserve to be governed. I will provide more details on this when I finalize our Nairobi County Okativa Caravan in the coming days. Young Kenyans, you are the generation that has the tools You are digitally connected in ways that no previous generation of Kenyans has been. You can see what is happening in this country and 1,000 miles away. You can organize faster than any previous generation. You can communicate with a reach that Raila Odinga, Mekatilili, or Thomas Sankara could never have imagined. The question now is whether you have the will. Do you love this country enough to let it be governed by qualified leaders? Do you love this country enough to show up at the ward level, at the constituency level, at the county level, and at the national level with a strict conception of the kind of leader you want? Do you love it enough to vote for the candidate who demonstrates the capacity to govern and not the money he or she gives you? Do you love Kenya enough to hold everyone and yourself to a high standard? You are the generation this country has been waiting for. I say this as a statement of fact grounded in everything I have seen and everything I know. I have watched you march. I have watched you organize. Now I'm asking you to go further. March on the streets, yes, but also govern. Organize protests, yes, but also build. Reject leadership, yes, but also put forward and support good leadership. In other words, be the standard you are demanding of others. I offer you the Okatiba platform. Join us and seek positions of office. The MC I saw here. Please join us. Expand civic education. Expand civic education in your community. Register to vote. Muko kadi? Thank you very much. Show up to vote and set up systems to protect your vote. Did you hear me? Show up to vote and set up systems to protect your vote. Between now and next year, move like your country's life depends on it. Because it does. From the member of county assembly to the president of this republic, choose deliberately, choose wisely, and choose with your eyes fixed, not on what a leader promises you today, but on what kind of Kenya they will leave you behind. They will leave behind for generations that come after you. Because those generations are coming, and they will ask what you did when the choice was yours. Young Kenyans, I'm sure you know this, 75% of the Kenyan population are young people under the age of 35. Those who are able to vote, that is the age between 18 and 35, are 13.7 million. The destiny of this country, therefore, young people, is in your hands. Is in your hands. What you do with that right What you do with that right will determine the future of this country. My plea to you, do not sell your souls. Do not auction your future. Do not auction the future of your children, and we are praying that you have children as you get out of here. Do not betray your country. The kind of patriotism required, is that we stand firm and make decisions that will serve everyone in this country, not just a few. I want to stop there. Thank you very much for listening to me. God bless you. God bless this great institution, and God bless the Republic of Kenya. Thank you very much. As I said, I'm willing to answer questions, at least those ones I'm able to answer on what I presented or anything else. God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's appreciate you.
Thank you. You have a notebook? Anybody with a notebook? I didn't carry one.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. I told you, right? You heard for yourselves, right? Na kwenye tukua tumesikia akianza, he said that he has big potential in Kenyan when they are led well, right? So now he has said, kama uko na swali, order please, order please, order please.
Give me some paper, some paper. Sorry, I didn't carry.
So he has said that if you have a question on what he has said or what he has not said, utauliza. Sawa. So I'm opening room for 5 questions. 5 people who have 5 questions, yes. We're starting with Joseph, then Rhoda, then Apastia, then Marilyn, then the guy seated here. Okay. Tutajibiwa, sawa. Hata kwa baadaye tutajibiwa, okay? Okay, so let's give room for Joseph.
I'll go there when I'm answering. Let's take about 5.
Can I have the microphone, please?
Thank you. I don't know why I feel tense, but I'll try my best. Honorable Chief Justice Emeritus Maraga, probably because this is the only chance I will have, I will ask only 2 questions, and I want to be as much brief and clear as possible. My first question to you is on September 1, 2017, while nullifying the 2017 elections, you said, and I quote, that the greatness of a nation lies in its fidelity to the rule of law, autonomous constitution, adherence to the rule of law, and above all, respect of God. This is my question. In your opinion, do you believe the constitution needs amendments, or it is sufficient as it is, if adhered to make things work in this country? My next question is on the Ebola question. We are seeing that the government is being strong-armed by the United States of America to set up an Ebola facility in the country. If you are elected, do you believe, in your opinion, that the country can work without relying on global partners such as US and UK to give aid? Do you believe the country can work without needing the aid from those countries? Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll go in batches of 5. So I'll pick the first 5 questions, then he will come and answer them, then we'll have other 5 questions. Is that okay?
Yes.
Are we together?
Yes.
Yeah, the next question comes from Rhoda Ogembo. Comrade Power. Comrade Ria. Comrade Tibim. My name is Rhoda Ogembo. I'm a 4th-year student, corporate communication class. So my first question to you, Mr. Maraga, is you seem very passionate about young people in this country. So is your party willing to give party tickets to young people to spearhead them towards the election, like Maina, our good friend Maina there? Is your party willing to give party tickets? The second question is, a lot of Kenyans of goodwill are fundraising towards your election as president. Is there going to be a system where we are able to account for all this money, where it has gone and what it has done to spearhead you to be the president? And also, just a word, you held the highest office in the judiciary once. I believe you are able to lead and head the 3 branches of the government. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rhoda. Thank you. The next person was the guy in the suit there. Please come forward. And then Marilyn, the last one. Then we'll have.
Can we give free tickets without payment?
Yes.
No. Okay.
But you outweigh.
Yes.
Chief Justice Emeritus, my name is Odira Steven. You have indeed spoken well, and I'm glad. Among the things you observed is the fact that the hyena in our sheepfold has entered the compound using a hole dug by the family dog. I'm grateful. As such, I'm also glad that you have joined me and my fellow Gen Zs in chanting one term to the must-go regime. My question is this. You've spent a better part of your life judging others. Why should I believe that the wisdom that led you to make better decisions should make you run this country as should be? Finally, I've seen others present gifts to leaders, and as a lover of wisdom and knowledge myself, I thought it fitting to offer this book that is written by a friend of mine as a present to you as a token of respect.
Let's appreciate the thoughtful man. Amazing. For multimedia, we love reading. We love reading. And yes, the last question comes from Marilyn. And then we will have to answer the first batch. And after that,
of
we
our
have
own.
other people coming to ask questions.
We are going to
People
obtain
are-
ourselves.
Silence, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. Marilyn.
Good morning, guys. It's afternoon. Good afternoon. Tunasema? Very nice. Okay. So, how many of us tulisoma kidogo? Na tumbo lisiloshiba? Who knew that these things were true? Who knew? Like, there's this particular phrase where they say, tunaongeza kwa kushoto, tunatoa kwa kulia. Wanasema wameongeza fuel prices by 5 bob, alafu tuna protest, alafu wanapunguza kidogo, wanaongeza diesel. That's the game they play, right? They think we don't know, but we know. So, most of us are finalists, and in a few Okay. Some of us are finalists, and in a few weeks, we are going to finish school. And the first thing, yenye iko kwa akili sahi, tunaanza kuwari, where will you get jobs? Tutapata jobs wapi? A system is not working. We are going to join others that have tarmacked for over 10 years, looking for jobs in the media field. Now, Honorable Maraga, most of us, we recognize the need for change, and we recognize the need for accountability from our leaders and stronger institutions, right? But there is a growing sense of hopelessness, to go very fatigued, to go very frustrated, because corruption, it appears to be so deeply entrenched in our systems. It goes so deep. And from your experience in public service and the judiciary, how long do you think, realistically, it can take our country like Kenya, where corruption is so deeply rooted, to shift, to turn, so that our systems can work? How long do you believe this will take? And do you believe, as a generation, as Gen Z, that we will live to see such a time where our systems work, healthcare is good, education is good, employment opportunities are there? Because it's a hopeless situation right now, so far. That's my question.
Thank you.
Amazing. Let's appreciate Marilyn. So,
Have these opportunities. I have, and I still speak in various universities. The question and answer, the question session is for me the best, because I then get to communicate with you and understand some of the issues maybe I would not have understood. Thank you very much for these questions. First of all, I want to thank our brother Odira. I thought his name was Odira, isn't it? Okay. Oh, Governor. Yes. Oh, that's great. Thank you for this book, Chains of Our Own. I haven't read it. I haven't even seen it. But the title speaks a lot. We have chained ourselves. We need to cut. You can see the chain here is cut. We need to cut that chain. I'll speak about that shortly. Thank you very much. Joseph, you started by the question of whether or not our constitution requires amendments. In my view, no. We have one of the best constitutions in the world. Trust me, I have read quite a number of constitutions. As a judge, more particularly as the Chief Justice, when you are applying decisions from other countries, when you have been, decisions from other countries are cited to you, the first thing you look at is the provisions that court was interpreting. Lawyers call it whether it is in materia, whether it is the same as ours. And I can assure you without any doubt that we have one of the best constitutions in the world. What has not happened is the fact that we have not implemented that constitution. You don't go amending a constitution that you have not even attempted to implement. If we implemented the constitution, some of the things people are requiring to be put in the constitution are things, if the constitution is properly amended, implemented, they will not require an amendment. The second question Joseph asked is about Ebola, and whether or not we should accept this kind of situation because of aid from other countries. That's a very, the question of aid is a very, very sad thing. Sad in the sense that we have changed ourselves. We have changed ourselves. The resources we have stolen, we have wasted, we have not used it properly, and as a result, we will continue begging for aid. In some cases, aid can assist, and it has assisted. But that aid comes with conditions. With conditions, and you are tied to the master who gives you those aids. You remember when the late President Kibaki came to power? I remember vividly that the economists worked it out and said that we were able to budget, or rather to support 95% of our budget. And where there was a shortfall, it didn't really require us going out to get an aid. The reason we have problems is because of a theft of public resources and wastage. I can assure you that Kenya is a great country. Given the amount of corruption that we have experienced in this country, given the billions that are stolen day by day, and yet we are still surviving, Kenya is a great nation, I can assure you that. If we use our resources properly, we don't need to borrow. We don't even need that aid from out there. If it is aid coming, maybe it is technical, and we can also give aid to those other countries. It is because we have not utilized our resources properly. So as some of you remember, I'm the one who started the e-filing in the judiciary. Use of technology. I'm humbled but proudly able to say here that soon after we started under the Prime Minister of Estonia, and Estonia is one of the countries which is very advanced in technology, came here, he praised the program. When she went to New York, I was honored to have mentioned in the New York session as having come up with a program. A few days later, the Chief Justice of Britain came to the country, and our Chief Justice was involved in some other functions, and she requested me to host him in a function that was being run by the Law Society. The Chief Justice of Britain says, look, Kenya is ahead in using technology. Kenyan courts are ahead in using technology, and said they are borrowing a leaf from us. What am I talking about? I'm talking about aid. We are capable of giving aid ourselves, and we should be proud of the achievements that we have made, so that we are not encircled by things like Ebola, which is creating a lot of controversy in our country. As you know, infections are dealt with in the areas where they arise. That's the best way of dealing with it. There's no problem with Kenya cooperating with other countries to deal with infectious diseases and other challenges. But when it comes with a statement from the Americans that they don't want Ebola, patients in their country, take them to Kenya, that's very, very condescending. Extremely condescending and very, it's so insulting. And that's no wonder, our brothers in Nanyuki are protesting and they are ready to inhale tear gas to say no to what is being done. Thank you. Rhoda, you asked, you said that I'm passionate. I was wondering whether UGM would give tickets to young people. In fact, we are not even waiting for the move. We are actually appealing to them to come. We are appealing to them to come. In spite of the resources that are meager, and we have told them the same, we want the young people to come and we work together. You have rightly said, and I believe that leadership, your leadership as young people, is not tomorrow, it is today. It is today, and there is no reason why you should be denied the opportunity to also play your role. Why do I say so? You are techno-savvy. You are better off than some of us analogs. We struggle sometimes with basic technology that we should know. The world is being run by technology. The people with technology are the young people. You will be deceiving yourself if you think that you want to let the youth stay there and you continue governing the country. You will be left behind as a country. So I want all hands on deck, and the youth should play their role in the governance of this country. You asked about we are going to crowdfund. In fact, we have started already. You asked whether we are going to account for that. That I can assure you that we are going to account for every penny that we will receive. I have made it public that all the funds we will collect, at the end of the day, if there is a surplus, I will not put it in my pocket. It was not meant for me to utilize on my personal expenses. I will give whatever is left to a public cause, and we will make it public. So those of you, please donate. The little you have, donate, and we have, our donations, we are not asking for a lot of money. Even 10 shillings, we are happy with that. And by the way, if I'm able to fund my campaign through donations from Wanjiku, 100, 200, 1,000 like that coming in, I would be a very, very happy person. Why? Because I will know that there is nobody demanding favors because of what he would have done to me to be leader of this country. There is nobody who is going to say, look, without me, you would not be sitting here. And as such, give me this contract. Give me this one here. Contracts they are least qualified for. Tenders they cannot meet. I will be a very happy person if the donations come from the public, so that nobody holds my neck when we are running the country. Thank you very much. Odira, you asked a very interesting question. Whether you can trust me to lead this country. I want to humbly say this. You, as you have rightly said, I occupied a very senior position in this country. I did what I was supposed to do. When critical decisions came to me, and there was talk, some people saying, look, this and that, I don't want to go into details. My mind was very clear. I was an employee of Wanjiku. I was not employed by anybody. Some even said, look, the president appointed you CJ. I was quick to tell them that the president didn't appoint me as CJ. The president performed a ceremonial function. Like when the Kenyans have elected the president, the CJ swears the president is in. Is he the prayer meaning the CJ who has elected the president? It is the Kenyan people who have selected the president. It is our constitution. The president, all that the president does is a ceremonial function. That's why some of you saw when we interviewed and nominated 46 judges to be appointed, and the president refused to appoint them. I was even being asked to accept, take a few and leave the others. I told them it is either all of them or none. And I stood firm until the end. At the end of the day, I'm happy that they were all appointed. Why did I say that? Because the president didn't appoint those judges. Those judges were appointed by the Judicial Service Commission in accordance with our constitution. They were competitively recruited. So, and we had asked for intelligence from all the government institutions that if anybody had anything to say about the candidates before we interviewed them, was at liberty to send memoranda. We even put it very clearly that some of the matters could be handled in a confidential manner. And none came. Then you now tell me when we have interviewed those judges and they have qualified, we have nominated them, that you can't appoint them because you have the intelligence. Why didn't you have it, you bring it? I stood firm and that was the way we could go. My mind was very clear that I was Wanjiku's employee. And I understood that as Chief Justice of the country, my duty was to work with the judges so that we deliver to the Kenyan people. I said I will, and I thank God for that. Me, you cannot threaten me. You cannot threaten me. I mean, that one, I thank God for that. Nobody can threaten me. I only fear one person, and that's God in heaven. So, we need to be firm. When you are a leader, you are one of the most important things you have got to understand is what are you required to do? What is the mandate that has been put in your hands? How are you going to perform that mandate? How are you going to discharge your responsibilities so that you can serve the people you are leading? The soft skills that you need to have so that you can serve the people who have put you in that position. Unfortunately, the thing that has happened in our country, and as I said earlier, soon after independence, some people changed the governance system of this country. They formed what I call an extractive system. An extractive system where they use their positions to plunder the resources of the country. Until now, it has come to a point where some people think that when you are in a given position, that's like an ATM you've been given to utilize public resources as you deem fit, to steal and loot. Last night, did you see, you may not have watched the news. There was, somebody from the county government of Nairobi found with cash. Eh? That's what I say. You are in that position and you want to use it for your personal gain. You know very well. Can I ask you young people? In 2017, if I wanted a bribe, could I have not received it? Yes. And big, isn't it? Yes. I chose not to do that. It is not, don't ask me that. It is not in my blood. I believe that we all should own what we have worked for, not what we have stolen. In fact, I have very, very little respect for people who steal. God has given you the intellect. God has given you the ability to work. Why should you steal from others? And particularly, so when you steal, what could perhaps save a poor fellow suffering from malaria? You know, people have died of malaria. And malaria is one of the cheapest diseases to treat. But because if you don't get the medication at the right time, you will die. So that extractive system is what has brought this country to where we are. And I have said it in public, I will be saying it even next week, that unless we end that extractive system, this country will break. This country will break. If you want to understand whether I am capable of leading this country, trust me, I will implement the Constitution. I believe, not because I am a lawyer, but when I have looked at, leadership as a whole, if you don't follow the laws that you have passed, you will end up in anarchy. You will have people who commit crimes and they are not held accountable because they are well connected. And as a result of that, you know, very many people get very injured very badly. They lose their rights. You get into, you are involved in a road accident involving a government vehicle, and when you go to court, the court awards damages to you, and the government doesn't pay because there is nothing you can do to the government. That's not the kind of government I want to run. No, we have to be held accountable. We have all to be subject to the law. There is a misconception some people have that the president is above the law. No, the president is not above the law. The president can only not be taken to court while he is in that office. As soon as, and the lawyers will know, if you have committed, if you are a president and you have committed or you have wronged a Kenyan, time stops to run. There is no limitation period. Time stops to run until you are out of that office as president. As soon as you are out, you can be taken to court. So the president is not above the law. Nobody is above the law. We should all obey the law. I will, as I have said in the past, I will be the first one to obey the law. If the government, if my government is taken to court and there is a decision against the government, I will appeal and appeal. If I reach the end, I will raise my hands and tell those who are working under me to obey the law, because that's the law of the land. Decisions of the Supreme Court, decisions of the superior courts are a part of our law of the land, so we must obey them. A civilized nation is one which follows the rule of law, and I will enforce the rule of law, and I can assure you, if we do that, Kenya will be a very happy country. You have said, you have talked about corruption, which is entrenched, and you are wondering whether or not there will be a change within our lifetime. I am asking for 5 years only. I'm asking for 5 years. Why? Because I'm 75 years old. I'm 75 years old. I just want 5 years to work with you people, We set Kenya on a governance structure. We set Kenya on a governance trajectory that leaders after me, you will not allow them to take us back to misery. You will not allow them to take us back to misery. We have, you know, people, we are a great nation. This country is great. I have traveled widely. I have gone to very many African countries. One time I was in West Africa and I almost created a stir. People were coming to see this CJ who can nullify, the election of a sitting president and is still alive. I told them in Kenya, our constitution allows us to do that. And they said, look, even in other countries they do, but it is, I told them, look, because of the Kenyan people, the Kenyan people would not allow me, would not let anybody touch me because of the decisions I made. We are a great people and we should be proud of that. We should not let a few thieves to throw us into the state where we have been thrown. We should be firm and say no to what is happening. As I said, young people, the people who are eligible, young people who are eligible to vote, could easily be 14 million. Imagine, even more than a half of that said no to what is going on here. The election will have been won. You will have decided what this country should do. My appeal to you, as I said earlier, please exercise your right to vote. Sometimes some people talk, but at the end of the day, they don't go and vote. You can complain, you can say all what you want to say, but if you don't exercise that right to, the right to vote, you will have done nothing. And then you will have been a great betrayal to the country you live in, the country you want changes to be made. I trust I'm capable of running a government. Yes. I will be there. What I have my mind is very clear. I'm a lawyer. I can't purport to do medical work. I can't purport to do technical what? Subjects or reading that. I will get competent Kenyans, and we have very many of them. We have a surplus. Get them in institutions. Give those institutions the independence they require, and demand results from those people I have put in places. And I am assured, I can tell you that I've talked to very many Kenyans, lecturers and even doctors. They will be too happy to perform their duties if they are given the leeway, if they are not being micromanaged from State House. If I give you a position, madam, I will not micromanage you, but I will demand results from you. If you come and you want to be with me and you want to corruption, I will tell you, my friend, get out there. We have very many Kenyans who are capable of occupying these positions. We have very many young Kenyans who are capable of occupying those positions and be content with the salary that the government offers for those positions. It's a question of discipline. It's a question of discipline. Trust me, given an opportunity, I will call this country to order, and it will be in order. Thank you very much. So the shift that you were talking about, whether or not corruption we can deal with it and whether you will feel it, in the first year you will feel it. Because the major corruption is budgeted corruption. The major corruption we have in the country is budgeted corruption. Budgets come through the treasury, isn't it? The government is there in the treasury, the president is there in the treasury. If we stop that, If we stop that, the Kenyans will feel it within a very, very short while. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Maraga.
Thank you.
After the good work he has done, doesn't he deserve a better clap than that?
Thank you.
So, Mheshimiwa, I don't know if you still have more time with us while you're leaving. I don't know if you will allow meet and greet, we take selfies. Lazima tutoe na kijiji, si ndio?
Yeah.